Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another mod stream. Just another one. No special significance. It's not like it's the last one of the year. Anyway, I hope you all are doing splendidly this fine morning slash noon time, my time, slash evening if it's evening for you. I do have one content plug. It's the Dead Space 2 review. I mean, if that doesn't get you excited for what's in store, I don't know what will. And yeah, it's got 3 views, which is the magic number. But if you like giving it another view, if you wanted to get it up to 3 likes as well, I mean, come on, why not? Check it out. So, I'll leave it at that. Give it some love. It's not yet at the point where I think you should be watching every single second of it. And that's where I want to get with my videos for those kinds of reviews. I want to make it so that there's no clip I'm showing that doesn't have a purpose. And that has actually happened with this one. I think every single clip that I deliberately looked for and hunted for illustrates a point or assists in illustrating a point that I'm making at the time. But there's a lot of time in that video where we have just me talking, and that's fine if there's nothing in particular that needs to be shown. But I think I need to get better at making the stretches of time where it's just me talking a little bit shorter, and maybe getting things that aren't clips from the game to help illustrate some points that would be better served. Like there's sometimes where I reference other games, or there's sometimes where I reference like community mods or something like that. Getting some samples from those things to help illustrate what I'm talking about would probably assist in making the point a little bit more robustly and leveraging the visual medium of a YouTube video. So these are things that I've been thinking about, and I'm not 100% satisfied with where the Dead Space 2 review wound up, but I do think that it feels a lot better than the video essays that I sometimes watch from these, the gaming YouTubers who say stuff like, "Oh, I don't actually care about the kind of clip it is. Just throw some clip there so that you can experience something associated with." Just so that you can experience the fact of watching content. You know what I mean? Like it's not really leveraging the platform at that point. So I'm not a fan of that. So that's where I want to go eventually, that you're going to be maybe not necessarily glued to your seat, I guess. I don't know. But like you would get something more. Like you still get something just by listening, but you'd get something additional just by watching. And I think that we can get there. I certainly can achieve that. So, where are we at today for HYDRA? Well, we are getting to the point where we can ship that patch. I'm waiting on a couple of icons from DF, but I did get a solid set of wireframes from, where is he? Mr. June 3 Hong. Grab those real quick. Those are for the captaincy and for the Iron Foundry. So I've got a couple of things that I want to do today. So let's talk about them. And let's watch Restream Chat crash. Classic. Okay, so we talked about this in the server, but I wanted to essentially, one of the biggest things that I wanted to achieve with the potential rework to consume is giving defilers if you could call it a default combat role, that would be sort of like what I'm talking about. It's not that it's really automatic, but it means that they are more widely useful on the front lines, and there's value in positioning them correctly and utilizing them correctly. But essentially, it would be like giving them an attack, except the attack must target organic units or structures, can target allies or enemies. It's this sort of channeled attack where as they attack a target, the target loses HP, and the HP is then converted into energy, and if the defiler is at full energy, it starts converting it into health. And that's essentially how we would be handling that sort of thing. And what this would allow the defiler to do is it would essentially be benefiting over time instead of instantaneously, and then be able to switch into casting Dark Swarm or casting Plague. And it also removes that dreaded third ability from a unit that, in my opinion, is lame. So I think that will actually work out quite well. And it'll also give them a unique aspect in ZVZ where they can be utilized to target, obviously, structures. So when you're fighting Zerg, be it in a team game or in a 1v1, defilers can actually benefit in that matchup in a very unique way, which I think is kind of cool. So I would actually like that to happen. So I like that version of Consume anyway, a lot better. It's sort of like if you've played SE2 and you know what the Viper's energy drain or essence drain or whatever the hell it's called. They have some ability that drains energy or converts HP from a structure into energy, but it's like such a very specific mechanic. You have to use it on a structure. I think you can use it on enemy structures as well as your own and allied structures, but it has to be an organic structure. So it's very clearly only Zerg, whereas this would unlock the ability to take defilers and use them against Bioterran or Templar Protoss. So, yeah, there's just more flexibility and more interaction with the tech trees of all races if we do it this way. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. What's going on, Iquare? Plague should be behavior and attack, not point click. Well, I do think that we need to give Plague a channel time, even if it's only like 1 second. And the idea is maybe even making it a projectile similar to Maelstrom. And my thought is we will make that happen. And, maybe I could even implement that today in theory, because I think I could go into orders dat and set the animation for Plague to be using, say, like, I don't know, unused 2 or something instead of, like, if we go to the defiler, it looks like they've got, like, special state 1 is not used. So we could do, like, okay, you've got cast spell for Dark Swarm and Consume, but you've got special state 1. We can use this for Plague, and we can go to orders dat and set them to use Plague, and then I can add a delay in the animation with a no break code. That might work out better anyway, and then I can like have a sound play or something. I think Dark Swarm is fine the way it is in terms of how it's cast. Now, Fagudo had an idea where the swarm would reduce in size over time, and this might be a replacement or an augmentation of the system that we did where we gave Dark Swarm health. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I also think that if you have to use Dark Swarm more frequently to maintain a grip on a certain area, that just means that you have to manage energy better or have more defilers. And I think that that's also fine. It just means that maybe we should, if we make it reduce in size over time, or when taking damage, then Dark Swarm, I mean, I have no idea how this function is actually handled. Like, I don't know if this is possible to implement in the engine without a full rewrite of how Dark Swarm is handled in terms of like how it provides the benefit. But I think that that's an interesting idea. I think we should try to explore it and implement it. And I also think that if this were to be put into place, it combined with our damage thing, we could just drop the energy cost to 50. I think it's 75 right now. I can confirm this just by looking at the wiki. It's 100. So we could drop it to 75. I think we should drop it to 75 even now. in its current implementation. Although I guess the current version of consume is pretty tough, so like it would make that spammable. Yeah. Oh, it looks like I finally popped my crash. What is this? So I have a crash in move result func EAX. EAX is some really insane address, 6881287. Oh, maybe this isn't an insane address because this is a func. Yeah, it's just a graphic. All of the Zerg stuff, the new Zerg units, well, the new Zerg ground units need some visuals. All right, hold on. Let me see if this is documented anywhere. 6881287. No. Yeah, so it's probably a plugin address, 6881287. It was called by 433DE7 in the assembly. Oh. Shit, what is it? How do I type it correctly? 433DE7. So it's called by add unit AI. Okay, so it's training worker though. So this was called in somehow we have workers crashing. Let me see what we have here. So result ID is 7. Which is SCV. Didn't want to do that. I was trying to search. The parent is ID 0. So the parent is null. HYDRA download link on Twitch is outdated. Thanks for the shout out. How are you, Alexander? How's the end of your year looking? Hold on one sec. I probably just have hold on. Edit panels. Oh wow, that is really old. All right, we'll say fraudsclub.com/HYDRA. And we'll say for modding guides and resources. Okay, submit. All right, that should be fixed. Wait, why is it Twitch TV slide? What the fuck? Hello? Maybe it has to be HTTPS or something? I don't know if it even is HTTPS. I'll try with just HTTP. Okay, that seems to be working. And then you said Fraud Nights is also broken? Or... Okay, let's go there. Let me grab the... Okay. All right, I just fixed that. Thanks for reporting. What if Zerg could fill lakes/rivers with corpses, creating bridges for the units? I don't know about that one, man. I think Faguda's idea of making it so that you can like form bridges and ramps with creep and stuff is a good one. I'm not sure if you should have to use a drone for it, or if it should just be something where you can, maybe that'll be like an advanced worker thing or something. Have I tested your create damage overlay thing? I have not, but you sent me a screenshot of it working, so I assume it's fine. I can redo my busted test to see if it still crashes or if it still works now. What do you think? What do you reckon for this crash though, Iquare? What should we be doing here? Yeah, I'm always surprised at like what is remaining open, Alexander. The fact that it's like, oh yeah, sure, you can go to driving school. I mean, I think that's still cool. Able to get something out of it. Also saw that you were appreciating the apostle. I told you, Iquare, already. It's add unit AI. Here, I'll DM you the details. So this was 433 DE7, which is this. And the function is I've said this a few times now on these streams, but the Apostle is among like the top 3 epic units, like most epic abilities or units or whatever added to the game. It's that, obviously the Star Sovereign glassing, which is pretty bombastic. Eventually we need to like work on the audio visuals for that, but it's good as it is, I guess. Like, it's passable. I'm trying to think. I think the Paladin is pretty cool, but could probably use some work. What else? I think the Zoryustalos is actually really neat, but obviously they're it can't be as epic since it's literally like tier 1 or tier 2 tech. Well, the Savant is very much like a specialist because they're anti-specialist. The Entropy Gauntlets attack. What the fuck? I don't even know how that happened. Must have hit the back button or something. Entropy Gauntlets just by themselves are pretty effective at dealing stuff, and they're decent damage dealers actually. So you get a decent amount of value. Maybe the 100 gas cost is a bit much, you know, but I think Power Siphon is definitely incredibly like positional, and also depends on like I can see it really working out if you've got a bunch of apostles nearby, or if you've got a bunch of like High Templar that you're fighting alongside, you know? Like honestly, some of the really epic things that you're going to be able to do when we get more ally or more ally focused stuff implemented, like just imagine like you're going to have like the Akistra Corps that can abduct hostile savants and infest them, and then you can unload those and use those savants alongside like your Protoss allies High Templar. Like that's gonna be really fucking weird and shit like that. So like yeah, there's gonna be a lot of interactions that we can unlock, even if they are very niche. But I definitely look forward to seeing some of that stuff. Yes, the Madcap is a bit more than just a high tier Marine. It's also meant to help you hold your ground as Terran when the tank line fails and you need some backup. They also still get this bonus from Maverick feeders. They still stack that and keep that stacked in bunkers because they're obviously not moving. So there's a lot that you can do with this. Yeah, infested apostles and mass ultra core. There you go. So yeah. What was EDX at the moment of crash? I'm only seeing EAX and ECX here. Is there a way I can expand this to see more? I mean, I guess I can let the game crash. And we will know from there. I just know that the parent was null. Is the parent EDX? Hold on, let me see. Oh, we have EBX unit and EDI AI town. Oh, EDX plus 5 DC 0. Okay. All right, so yeah, I'm going to have to detach from this. So do I have all the information that we can benefit from already? I guess I can take a... I know that parent was null and that result is 7, which is SCV. So I'll post this screenshot in our Discord chat and I'll say parent null, result 7, SCV. And that should probably be all of the information that we can benefit from there. And now we can take a look at the error. Starcraft errors. EDX was 4. I've sent you that in DM as well. I'll just paste bin this error log. I don't know what EDX was meant to be, though, in this function. Presumably it's not unit ID, it's something else. So how would we get a null parent in worker AI? If I look at AI orders, right? So we have AI train unit calls the worker. So it wasn't, was it called from AI add military? We have null checks here for parent does not equal null pointer. Oh, is that what EDX was? Yeah, it depends on which race you're playing as, Alexander. For Zerg, you just have to get used to throwing down that nerve center structure. Oh, I don't remember the details of that. I do remember that I think you had to patch out or wrapper something and then print an error message. Oh, maybe this was for Toddborn, but there was something where you had to like print an error message and then just return instead of actually adding to the function. But I wonder how the unit AI could be corrupted in the first place. Where does it... It just gets the unit AI from the parent. So the parent must also have been corrupted? But the parent was null, so I don't see how that could even happen, you know what I mean? Oh. So maybe it's the same thing then, and it's just instead of corrupting the building requests, it's corrupting workers, because workers are still build requests. They're used in the same way. Would that be a potential reason? Like there could be some overflow from too many worker requests or too many requests in general, but it happened in a worker instead of in a building? I don't know if that sounds correct to you. I should have taken a look at the. I couldn't take a look at the minimap because of the stuff there, so I don't actually know what the game state, the map state was like at the time. Yeah, so since workers are build requests, we might have some issue there where it's just it's a case that didn't get patched by your like return or whatever. I suppose that means that crash is very rare and would only happen in cases where you had like 7 AI or in cases where the map went for a very long time. So maybe that's actually a silver lining or something. Right, okay. So a short-term fix would be to detect if the build array is already full and refuse to process the request, but a long-term fix would just be to expand the arrays themselves. Yeah, so some units are partially implemented, which is like, for example, the if we go to the Zerg, the Queen is an example of this, where we haven't implemented the infestation ability, the new infestation ability. Or for like the Cascathalor, where we haven't implemented its passive. The Paladin and the Penumbra are kind of like that as well, where we've got one passive for the Penumbra, but no other passives implemented. And I think the Paladin is the same way, where it has its ability, but it doesn't have either of its passives. So, yes, you're right about that. We have implemented many things. I actually marked the Quantum Institute as unimplemented, even though technically it is implemented, because I've refactored some of the requirements or some of the things here, and the Quantum Institute should not. You shouldn't have to spend 900 minerals and gas in 90 seconds to deploy a tech structure just to get what was at one time you unlock the Penumbra and the Phobos. It just doesn't make any sense to require all of those. So. And obviously, the fact that like we don't have more than we only have one unit for the Iron Foundry means I still have to add more conceptual stuff. I also want to add another tier of robo units and more stuff for infrastructure, but like the warp relay is going to be in infrastructure, and some other stuff is going to be there as well. But we don't have the. I don't know if we have the unit IDs for everything. I still have to make some calculations for that. Well, your portrait is a fucking Reavers, so of course you preferred robotic builds. Yeah. And that's only 3 of the however many units we have here. Yeah, there are 10 Protoss air units, which is a lot. There's 13 Templar units. I'm not sure how much you count the augurs, though. And 9 robotic units. Happy New Year, Ultralisks. Ultra Cores. How you doing, dude? There's 13 Terran air units. Holy moly. 8 mech, 9 bio. And then obviously Zerg have the weirdest one since they don't have the same setup, but they've got, I guess if you count the Broodlisk and the Broodling, they've got 8 swarm units. They've got 10 assault units implemented. 11 once the whatever the basilisk gets renamed to is implemented, and then 4 or 5 if you count infested turrets, 5 control. So yeah, they're like the weirdest tech tree for sure. Yeah, Magisters are more like a they're a solid, like if you get a couple of them with your attacks or whatever, they're a solid supportive unit, but probably not a core unit. Like Panoptis probably is the core unit. And then you get like exemplars if you need to specialize into anti-mech ground, or well, maybe not even anti-mech ground, but it's just like more firepower against ground. Gladius for air. I mean, Gladius for stacked like swarming stuff. Um, you know, yeah. I wonder what game state we'll have in 2021, dude. In 365 days. They're just there as a way to have some content that isn't a melee map, but they are all going to be remade, assuming I decide to continue on working on the campaign. It's just that I'm not satisfied with how they turned out. If I had to guess, like the best of them is probably the second turn map because it's the largest and the most roomy, and I think it's also one of the more detailed ones as well. But I've got a lot of plans. I'm gonna go into. I'll release a video tomorrow with my channel map for January. I've got a lot of plans for video content and also for some maps in the month of January that I want to dedicate to. Yeah, he's still looking for feedback on all his stuff, so. What is add unit AI function? Is that the one that we just had that crash in? Is that in here? Well, it's not in here. So Okay. Let's crack open the IDA for this one, boys. What am I doing? Wrong folder. There we go. Reasonable. Okay, so now I've got to look through every single A1 instance. Oh, if there even is an A1, might be it. All right, so we'll say classic. All right, so we'll say this is unit stack group flag. It's not group flag, it's like base property, unit property worker. So now I gotta look through every instance of town, of AT rather, make it town. I always have to kind of run around in the dark trying to fix this stuff. See what I can come up with. Some of these are really fucked up, you can tell, because you have like converting a unit into a region, other such psychosis. Oh, I see. This is unit ID. V3 was units dat base property unit ID. And I think that's completed. I'll check that later to clarify. I think this is player table. The fuck? I guess I'll just leave this here like this for now because I don't actually know how to reformat that yet off the top of my head. All right, so we've dealt with the initial psychosis of fixing all of the variable names. This is actually a pretty good practice for me since I find that I otherwise don't really know what the hell is happening in the function. Okay. Very quickly, I will bring these in here. Thinking for the Iron Foundry, I think we're like 199 or something. No, 198 for the Iron Foundry. What's up, DF? Thanks for those icons. I don't really think so, no. But how are you? Is V8 even used later? Like, why do they create these variables just to use them in, like, one section? Don't get it. Oh, this is unit AI. Dog sitting at home. That's what we like to see. I'm pretty sure V4 plus 2400 must be the unit AI in the unit struct. And V4 is actually supposed to be a unit. It really depends on what town field 8 is. So that's probably why the compiler fucked it up. Because it doesn't know that field 8 is a unit. That's just my guess. So if we look at like town, we see that field 8 is, yeah, it's a data list of workers. So let's go to structures and find AI town. Workers, yeah, so. At least I'm assuming that's what that is. Okay. This is probably wrong though. Free buildings. Town units. Oh, it has the size of shit in there, so that's fine. All right, so now we've documented that a little bit better. So we definitely need to restructure this, those things, but for now, we'll call it free workers, sure. what do I have to do this? I don't even know what V5 is. Oh, V5 is previous. And it says unit AI, link next. Okay, now we need to figure out what C unit first is in IDA. It's 0 times C. What? Because hex goes from 9 to immediately to A, B, C. So this is something in AI data list workers. So this is probably C. And we'll just have to call that workers, I guess. What is V7? It's a C unit. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. Wait, what? I guess there's probably a link, actually, for that, so yeah, that's fine. But again, why is it casting a unit AI to a C unit and then giving this to that? I don't think V7 is actually a C unit. What is it used for? Is it used anywhere? That's what I mean, man. None of these are really important. It's checking to see if... So there's a thing here where it says if V7, right? So really all we would need to check for is if town workers. And then we would say... Like, then it writes V7 to something, but it doesn't actually use V7 anywhere in the future. Variable is not used. Don't know what the fuck is going on there. Hey, if you decide to play some Halo, I hope you have a good time. All right. And again, I don't know why we're converting a unit to a region. They're a siege cruiser. Probably need to rework them a little bit to make them feel more impactful given their place in the tech tree. But hey, since you're here, iQuare, do you want to help me write this hook? There's a lot of really insane compiler nonsense I've already corrected. But I think the biggest issue right now is we don't have an accurate structure inside GPTP for workers, buildings, free workers, free buildings. I'm going to push my comments. Push update to Yeah, it sounds strict. I don't know if you can take a look at that and let me know what's going on here, because an issue that I keep running into is, well, I can't really, because I don't have an AI data list struct, unless this is somewhere. Oh, AI data list is apparently a SCBW data, so it's... reasonable. Okay. So this is size of 0x8. Yeah, I'm not sure how to set this up correctly exactly, but maybe that will help. So then if I can just find that as a thing in SCBW data, I should also add an AI array, I guess. Also, this should actually be this. Yeah, well, the only problem here is I don't have a definition for worker AI array. Oh, I see. You actually wrote it in there. So then in structures, I have to write this as... So free workers is just worker AI array. All right, hold on. What is this? Worker AI. AI's 1000. Building AI first free. Nice typing. And we'll say struct building AI array. Oh, I fucked that up. I can fix it in a second. Okay, so now I've got to set this up like... Oh, because it's a pointer, yeah. So now in here, I have to set this as worker AI array free workers. And then I've got worker AI workers. And then we have building AI array free buildings. I've got to add my semicolons, classic. And then we have building AI building. Yeah, that's fine. I can fix that later. Okay, so now that I've got this done, I've got to recontextualize my shit here. So we've got free workers being converted into a C unit, which is really strange. So maybe... So the IDA's version of this was to class v4, which I've named worker in the variable in my function. v4 is an int, apparently, according to the IDA. And it's v4 plus 24,000. So I'm assuming that that's obviously some sort of, like that's an offset in a structure. And so I thought it might have been the unit struct. We go to hex calculator and we take, it's 5DC0. So I guess we can go and look for stuff like this. Okay, so this is in the AI array. This is 5DC0 is worker. So, but I don't know why it's casting it to a value of PAI. So this is actually supposed to be free workers first. What is first? Why isn't it working? I thought I would be able to like access the free workers struct or something. Yeah, I would be after this function too, police. This is illegal. So we know 5DC0 or whatever this is a worker. So we're getting the first free worker is what I'm assuming this is. All right, so what we're doing is we're getting town free workers, and then we're checking if so we're taking get the unit AI is being written to a value of the first free worker. But I don't know how to access that. It's just v4 plus 24,000 plus 0 like 5DC0. What a mess. I wonder if maybe I should save my changes and just restart GPTP or restart Visual Studio. I think simply for the sake of reprocessing stuff, because I do feel like there should be something here. Just says error type when I mouse over it for some reason. Very confusing. I'm also pretty sure that we should be, for the unit AI struct, we should probably be linking the unit AI. Like, unit AI should probably have guard AI and worker AI and building AI and military AI all nested within it. Similar to if we look at the C unit layout, I think it is. The C unit layout has this struct going on where they've got a building. So if we were to use this as a reference, right? Maybe we don't have to do it the exact same way, I don't know. Yeah, I know it is. It's first free worker though, right? All right, I think if we set this up correctly, this should actually work out. But now the problem is that it doesn't seem to be able. I think I have to do unit AI. Oh, how do I access? Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I actually don't know how to access it then after I do that. Maybe you know how to do this, Icor? I don't actually know how to set this up in C++. Or maybe I have gotta keep these in here? I don't know, dude. Maybe that's correct then. Yeah, this is a bit of a mess, bro. All right, let me clean up the compiler errors from the switch. And then I'll push the work that I've done so far. How could it possibly? Do I have to move it above this? Exactly, Ichabod. Exactly. Happy New Year. I'm sure this will work without any issues at all. Looks like YouTube publicated my broken stream earlier. Just delete that. Ugh. You actually? Why would this be? The fuck? Yeah, maybe I do have to dereference this. I'll try that if this one fails. This still reads like I fucked up a semicolon somewhere, but don't think I did. Pretty sure they would have complained about something. I think I know what's happening, actually. What's up, UNS? How you doing, dude? Yeah, I think what has to happen is I've actually got to put this stuff underneath the definitions for the arrays. This is so dumb, but whatever. And then this has to go down here. But then I think we fuck everything else up because AI town isn't defined or something. I don't know. Maybe this is actually not what I need to do. I don't know. Yeah, maybe this has nothing to do with it at all, actually. I don't know. I'll just slap this on there and see what happens. Oh, they don't have the music files, like, in the game? Or just loose in the game file? Ah, yes. The classic losing it on your hard drive somewhere. Yeah, so we're in a real fucking recursive territory now. This is some nuts shit. So basically, my structures are not building correctly because, like, for example, worker AI needs to be in... I don't know, man. What the fuck happened here? Hold on. Maybe this is... Maybe there's some other bug that happened that I am just not aware of. No, never mind. I thought maybe I fucked something up over here. But that's not the case. Size of 9. Size of 32. So basically, the worker AI structs, like all of the AI structs, have to be below AI town. AI town has to be below worker AI array and building AI array. And worker AI array and building AI array have to be below these AIs right here. This is fucked up. This is actually fucked up. So now I think the solution is to take all AI town calls and call them void for now. And see what happens. And then I can just cast a value of AI town to the town variable if I'm like overwriting it or trying to read from it or something. But this is such a stupid thing here. I'm not actually sure what the solution would be. This seems like the lowest impact one though. But I don't know for sure. It's an assumption. Maybe somebody who's more familiar with C++ will be able to look at this and find a better solution. I had no idea structures were like that, though. I had no idea that they had to be, like, in descending order or whatever. That's pretty nuts, bro. Oh, apparently that didn't even fix everything. So that's because AI Captain was below military AI. That's probably a problem that I've had with this for a very long time. I probably was like always wondering why it wasn't working, and only now am I putting it together. Because this one was commented for a while. So I'm pretty sure that's probably has something to do with why it was commented. Let's get rid of this dead code over here, I guess. So now hopefully we don't have any commented structs lying around. Yeah, now it builds fine. Holy shit. That is truly insane. Well, talk about a mess. So now you've got to see if you can find it locally. Or just use some more bandwidth. What's the worst that could happen? So the only issue that I'm worried about now is like iQuire told me to expect compiler errors because of some of this stuff. And well, there weren't any. That makes me very scared. Happy New Year, man. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your other year around the sun. And enjoy your dinner. Okay, well, I guess there aren't that many. I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine. I'll do some testing later on. I actually wanted to ship a patch, but I guess I don't need this GPTP change set in order for this to work. Let's go ahead and push. So, yeah, actually. Oh, maybe I do because... Fuck. I don't know if we're running... I think we're running debug plugins still. Okay, well, I will add the latest release plugin instead, and we will see what happens when I set this up. Forgot to even look at his log here. Well, everything seems fine so far. Besides that colony placement, idiot. Moron. Brutal. I don't know, man. Seems like it might be fine. Okay, let's deploy this patch. Oh wait, we need to work on some AI stuff, don't we? Yeah, I guess I'll just have to do that off stream then, because I've got to enable. I've got to disallow Quantum Institute. Oh, this could just be removed. Okay. And we got to create another case for the tier 2 production structure for. I guess we'll do add iron check. So now I can just adjust the quantities. We should be good there. Like min is fine to stay the same. And mech is fine to be around the same. Min air should probably be 1. Guess we'll set it to, we can increase this value when we have more units, but we'll set it to 3 for max gen. Max mech can be 5. Max air can be 2. Well, 3. We'll say medium can be, like I said earlier, 2. Yeah, 3 is probably fine. Well, I think min was 3 for mech. So we'll do 4. Okay. So I think that should allow Terrans to actually build more nanite assemblies as well, in general. Oh, that would be cool. You wanted to update its what do you call it, I think you said you wanted to update the lighting or something to do with the texture. Although I guess also I should check something real quick. The iron check is going to, well, I guess we should just add here something to the effect of like no town science facility. I guess we can add that to the nanite as well as a failsafe. Also for nanite, I'm pretty sure it costs more than this. So let's check. Because I think the nanite assembly might be a bit too expensive right now. So 250, 100 for the iron foundry, 150, 200 for the nanite assembly. So do that, and then for the iron foundry, was it? It's 250. I think we'll actually have it be. Well, I guess that's fine. Nice. Well, that's going to be very exciting to see. I guess stuff like the structures in general might be easier to work on in general, right? Especially if the animations for them are just lighting. Okay. Oh, yeah, so your like organizational stuff is all different now. As was for Todd, man. Time to make penumbras. I like that. Penumbrellas. Oh shit. I fucked up. Okay, we should be good there. The only other thing I think that I have to worry about... Let me just... Okay, that's it. Yeah, I think that's it, actually. Should be good there. I stopped the AI from getting quantum institutes, so yeah. Close this, close that, add the latest files. And off we go. I'm going to run an AI test off screen here, off stream, because I'm done with the stream now. And then, assuming everything goes well, the patch should go up in the next hour. Update AI to use boundaries. Okay. I'll say also disable usage of quantum institutes. I wonder if there's any legacy code in here. Doesn't look like it. Maybe Z upgrade. Nope. Okay, nice. Go ahead and push that. And that's it. It's been a real epic experience. So, I shall return Probably, I'm not sure actually. Tomorrow I think I'll be busy because I've got a show. But obviously Saturday I got a map analysis stream with Pullman and Fraud Strike. Sunday is Fraud Craft, maybe a mod stream then. Oh no, Sunday I've also got an interview that I'm doing, so I'll be busy that. So yeah, I think the next mod stream might be Monday. Stay tuned for that. Monday, I believe that is the 3rd, 4th. It's the 4th. So yeah, maybe that'll be that. Thanks, DF, for all your artwork. Thanks to iQuare, who was here earlier helping me with the programming stuff. Thanks everybody else who just came in to say Happy New Year. I'll catch you guys in the new year. See ya in a year.